Hello and welcome to my podcast. I titled this podcast When Autism Came Knocking on My Doorstep. And therefore, as the title suggests, we'll be talking a lot about autism. This is all based on my experience as a mother of an autistic boy. It's been something that has been growing in my heart to come and talk about autism, just to be a voice for my boy, first and foremost, but also to raise the awareness to other parents who could be possibly going through the same experiences as I am now or as I was at the very beginning. Just a little bit of a background. My son is now 11. He's turning 12 soon. He has the diagnosis of autism. He does have difficulties with social interactions as one of his challenges with his diagnosis. One thing that I want to talk about today was what were the signs for us as parents, or what is it that brought that question or those questions of do we need to seek further maybe medical advice? Do we need to see a pediatrician about this? Now, as most of maybe people would be aware, there are some quite basic and common signs that a lot of parents, when you talk to them, will share as their experiences, i.e., what is it that they noticed that they were a little bit maybe worried about, or even questioning whether is this just a part of the growing, or do I need to seek medical advice. For my son, was more of the delayed speech. Apart from that, there was also very minimal eye contact. He had episodes of tiptoeing. There were episodes, and continues to be prevalent, actually up to date, episodes of him trying to block his ears, whether he's trying to regulate the sounds around him, or maybe just the environment is too much for him, and he's trying his best to regulate it that way. If I can just talk about, so those were the some of the things that we were seeing as parents and as a family, that got us a little bit worried. But again, because the awareness was not that much. I wouldn't say that I had a great awareness when it comes to these things. And therefore, the question was, is it just a matter of time? Should we just wait and see, or do we actually now go and see a doctor for this? Luckily enough, we were able to see a doctor who then did a few assessments here and there. And it became clear that yes, he was autistic. Quite a shock, a massive shock. I must say that was one of the things that really got me, i.e., purely because my awareness was not that much, and therefore there's that general shock that comes of what is it that we will be expecting as a family, and therefore definitely the shock of the diagnosis was it was overwhelming. I would say, it's a mixture of emotions. I didn't know whether to cry. I didn't know whether to call my husband immediately and tell him this is what the pediatrician has said. But most importantly, I knew that I needed to submit myself to God and pray. I'm a Christian, and therefore I'm a strong believer that God has got my life and the life of my loved ones covered. And therefore, that was my first point of contact. So diagnosis came through, and as you can expect, there is a lot really. This is just an introduction, so I'll break it down and we can look into further details of how things were done. And therefore, we are still learning. There is a lot that is happening around us. There are a lot of changes that have had to happen. Um, but I have to say, we are blessed as a family to have a quite tight and loving family, quite supportive of one another. God at the center of it all. We've managed to, achieve a few milestones, and we are supporting our son with every effort that we can. We are also privileged to be in a country where there's a lot of awareness of these things, as well as quite a lot of support that can come, i.e., from the pediatrician or the school, even going back to kindergarten time. There was a lot that was happening around then, and therefore these are some of the things I'm just touching here and there, but I'll come back and talk more about this. So if you happen to be maybe going through this, or maybe you're struggling to come to terms with the diagnosis of your loved ones, or if you're looking just for someone who shares the same experience as you, definitely this is your place. This is just the beginning. It's the very beginning of the podcast, and therefore there will be a lot. As I can clearly tell you, he's 11 now, and therefore we have quite a few years behind us where we've gathered quite a lot of information, a lot of knowledge, a lot of awareness, and a lot of tips here and there on what is working for us. Again, on this platform, I'll be speaking from a parental experience information based on what we have gone through as a family. And if I mention anything to do with the medical practitioners, is purely what has happened for our sons. And therefore, although I'm a mental health practitioner myself, I will have to put my my profession on the side, so I can be as genuine as I can from a parent perspective. There are a lot of questions out there. I know I've got a circle of friends, and I happen to know a few parents who are going through through similar experience as I am. And the greatest question that I was ever asked was, and it continues to be one of the greatest questions, is how did you come to terms with that mention of autism as a diagnosis? And therefore, in the coming episodes, I will definitely try and break this down as to how it happened and what we did during the time, what emotions we went through, or the crying that happened, or the praying that happened and continues to happen, or the support seeking that happened and continues to happen, and also the support that has been made available for us. So stick around. This is just the beginning. Again, as I said from the start, my name is Wavinya. Welcome to my podcast, When Autism Came Knocking on Our Doorstep. Thank you very much.